Next, the place where he could withdraw from the world.
It became this kind of haunted mansion that he never left.
How Neverland then became Neverland now.
It was Michael Jackson's pricey private playground. But what's happening at Neverland now? The rides and the menagerie are gone, but there's something new going on around the estate. It's a hot property again. Jim Avila takes you on a rare tour of Neverland then and now.
Deep in California's golden Santa Ynez Valley, hidden beyond these gates, past the children frozen in play, is Michael Jackson's over-the-top, once-upon-a-time sanctuary he named Neverland. A private world he designed to live his Peter Pan fantasy as the boy who never grew up.
I think it was the dream of an ideal childhood. Fantasizing vision of what you'd like to be living.
2,700 acres of manicured lawns and a backdrop of oak-filled hillsides. Jackson first saw the property while shooting the music video Say, Say, Say with Paul McCartney, and he fell in love with it. Unable to get it out of his mind, Jackson bought the ranch 4 years later in 1987. It was the height of his popularity, and then manager Frank DeLeo was told to make it happen.
He said, "You don't know how much I want this. I want this. You have to help me get it." I said, "Okay, we have to add some shows." We added 20 shows. He did the 20 shows. He paid cash for the place, and he couldn't wait till the tour was over to get there.
Neverland cost him more than $20 million, and that's before he added his own touches. The 10,000-square-foot Tudor mansion at the center of Neverland overflowed with Michael's jumbled collection of art and toys. Even in his office, he worked surrounded by silent, life-sized friends. And there were plenty of the living around, too. More than 120 staff on $1 million a year payroll, catering to Jackson's every whim. And according to his security chief, all lined up to say goodbye every time he left the ranch for the real world. Mike LaPerouse.
It was the chefs and then the housekeepers and then the security and the fire department, and then the zoo animals would then come out, and there would be the elephants there and the giraffes were there and a deer on a leash.
So they just all came to say goodbye.
Yes.
It was sort of part of the rituals.
Right.
Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful day. Okay?
Jackson often opened up Neverland's amusement park to groups of children, playing the Pied Piper as he led them to the rides. But what does the Neverland mansion look like now, a year after Jackson's death? 2020 was invited on a rare tour of the restored and emptied home, now co-owned by a real estate holding company called Colony.
Through this huge door and into the grand entryway is where you see the magnificent restoration going on at Neverland. This is where guests used to be greeted by the life-size butler who had a tray of cookies in his hand. Their next sight, of course, was this wall, which was covered with a huge picture of Michael Jackson in all his glory.
There were portraits of Michael everywhere as Peter Pan and the Pied Piper. In this painting, he included his friend child star Macaulay Culkin.
As with most families, Michael and his children liked to spend much of their time in the family room and kitchen area. And it was quite a kitchen with all the latest equipment. But despite having a staff of chefs, we're told that Michael mostly liked to eat candy and ice cream. And they happened to use that fryer a lot because he liked fried foods. Also part of his routine was to begin the day in this magnificent little room, where he had breakfast every day. Not only did it have a natural view here, but Michael also had standing orders to the staff to bring his elephant in, to walk it across the panoramic view, just to top it all off. To borrow a couple phrases from the real estate world, Neverland's living room was both sunken and flow-through. When Michael Jackson first bought the property, he kept much of the furniture in it, including a grand piano, which he played here in this corner. But soon, Jackson would replace that with something much more Michael. He imported a toy castle from Germany. And over here was another one of Michael Jackson's most treasured possessions. It was alarmed under glass, the Oscar from Gone with the Wind. It was valued at more than $1 million.
All of Jackson's belongings were gathered for what was to be a grand auction before his death. Now they sit in a warehouse. 2020 obtained these pictures of some of the items, posters, his police motorcycle, even Pinocchio under glass. Their ownership now in dispute. Those are the public areas of Neverland. Down this hall, the private rooms, including the one that got Jackson in so much trouble.
The famous children's gateway to Michael Jackson's master bedroom is gone. So are the metal detectors and the camera that used to be above the door. But the 6 locks are still here, and so is the peephole. Down the 3 steps into the sunken bedroom. And one of the first things you see was one of Michael Jackson's favorite pieces of furniture. It was the throne-like chair he liked to sit on as the king of pop.
These stairs inside the master suite were once lined with rows of dolls. The upstairs bedroom was used as a guest room for visiting children.
The master bath had dramatic views to the outside courtyard and led directly into a walk-in closet, which is different than most closets because Michael Jackson had it filled not just with clothes, but with toys and spangles of all kinds. And back in the far corner of the walk-in closet, behind the clothes, was the infamous secret room, built by the previous owner as a panic room, but according to the prosecution, used by Michael Jackson for something far more sinister.
In the video used in court during Jackson's trial on child molestation charges, sheriff's deputies claimed it was the scene of the crime.
The second floor, with its dramatic A-frame and solid wood banisters, was all about Michael Jackson's 3 kids.
A bedroom for each and a top-floor classroom for homeschooling. Here's what it looked like in 2003 when the sheriff's department took its pictures. Tiny desks and model trains. Out back, the big train is gone, and so is the amusement park. But Jackson's tribute to the cinema, his other artistic obsession, remains.
He built a 50-seat theater, complete with a working snack bar and a popcorn machine. It was the only building on the property that Michael Jackson had a personal hand in designing.
After the trial, Neverland was abandoned, and Michael, deeply in debt and clearly ambivalent about keeping it, nearly lost his fantasy for good. He owed $23 million on a loan due in days. His manager, Tome Tome, was scrambling.
But his beloved Neverland, what did it look like at that point?
It didn't look like Neverland. The grass is dying, the pond was filthy and dirty, there was no water running. I mean, it was really run down.
Michael Jackson had turned his back on Neverland, as he told 60 Minutes.
I've been back there, but not in my bedroom. I won't live there ever again. I'll visit Neverland. It's a house now, it's not a home anymore. I'll only visit there.
Today, the Jackson family estate is partnered with a colony real estate company that takes care of the grounds with 30 staff and tens of thousands a month in upkeep, restoring it to its glory days. Soon, it is likely to be put on the market once more, hoping a high roller will see its beauty and history and fall in love as Michael Jackson clearly once was. The final chapter of Neverland soon to be written.
But, I mean, at first, Neverland seemed like the most gorgeous and charming place. Then it became this kind of haunted mansion that he never left, you know. It's like the dark side of a child's story, you know, underneath the haven, the dungeons.